After the longest season in all of sports, we're finally down to 1 week. We have 4 drivers who are going to compete for the championship for 312 laps at the 1-mile Phoenix Raceway with the 750 horsepower package. There's tons to go over here, and I gotta say that this might be one of the most evenly matched Final Fours we've seen in years, and it might also at the same time be one of the most infuriating for some fans. So today, I want to go over a few key factors of what we should look at when it comes to predicting the championship and who might have the advantage. Now, before we start, I just want to say that I'm sorry if my voice is a little off. I was at Martinsville. It was nuts. I kind of left most of my voice in Martinsville, so bear with me on this one. Starting off, let's just look at these drivers' seasons. When you look at them, for the most part, they're pretty even on the top 5s and top 10 scale. Martin Truex Jr. actually trails in top 5s, as does Chase Elliott, whereas Kyle Larson and Denny Hamlin are at 19 and 20. They've been in the top 5 and the top 10 for most of the year so far, while Chase and Martin Truex Jr. have been a bit behind. Laps led-wise, both Larson and Hamlin have led over 1,000 laps, with Larson leading nearly 2,500 so far. The average finishes this year, though, show Hamlin with a better average finish, Larson behind him, and then a little bit further back is Elliott and Truex kind of hovering around that 11th place average, as where Hamlin and Larson are averaging around a 9th place finish. Where we really see the big outlier is wins. Elliott and Hamlin both have 2 wins on the season. Now, Truex has 4 wins on the season, and it's mostly with the 750 package, so that's a big part to look at. And then you have Kyle Larson, who has 9 wins thus far, who has been by far the fastest driver in general this year, and who a lot of people are looking at as the favorite. What I think people should look at is Phoenix and the 750 horsepower package. Now, looking at career averages at Phoenix, Larson, Elliott, and Hamlin are all around a 10th to 11th place average finish, where Truex is a bit further back. But Truex has had a bit of a poor start to his career compared to these guys, so I think that he's about even with them. The last race at Phoenix saw basically all of them running up front. Truex got the win, Hamlin came in 3rd, Elliott came in 5th, and then Larson came in 7th. A big key difference in this past race, though, was laps led. Truex led 64, whereas Hamlin led 33. Hendrick combined with Larson and Elliott led 1 lap. Now, when you look overall with around a 750 horsepower package since 2015, the averages are actually incredibly close. Now, we're going to take away DNFs with this one. Chase Elliott has the top with 7.8. Then you have Martin Truex Jr. and Kyle Larson around an 8.8, and Hamlin is actually bottom of these guys with a 9.5. Suffice to say, this is one of each of these drivers' best tracks since getting the 750 horsepower package. Now, something else to look at is a race that's very similar in setup to Phoenix, New Hampshire Motor Speedway. And when you look at New Hampshire, all of these guys in some way or another struggled to get the job done, whether it was with early rain, which we won't have this weekend, whether it was with strategy, or whether it was with speed. The highest finishing of these 4 was Kyle Larson in 7th. And then you had Denny Hamlin in 10th, Truex got up to 12th after a poor start, and then Elliott in 18th. So I'd say so far, these guys are still dead even for the most part. Maybe one has a little advantage, but it's hard to tell. You see, I alluded to it earlier, but Gibbs had the jump early in the season with the 750 horsepower. Now, at the tracks that are best comparable with the 750 horsepower package, which is a mile or less, I took the statistics, and I'll be honest, it is dead even when you look at the teams as a whole. Now, in 32 total starts, that's 4 drivers each team for 8 starts. Hendrick had 4 wins to Gibbs 3. Hendrick had 15 top 5s to Gibbs 14. Gibbs had 23 top 10s to Hendrick's 21. Now, the average finish and laps led is where you really see just how even overall both of these teams are. Gibbs averages a 2.88 average finish for their best finishing 750 horsepower car. Damn near perfect. Hendrick averages 2.75 with their best 750 package. And when it comes to overall laps led, Hendrick just barely has the advantage with 1,200 on the dot laps led at these 8 races. Gibbs has 1,180. This is seriously the most even matchup of teams you probably could get at these tracks. Now, let's look even closer. There are 4 races I think you really can look at that really can be comparable to Phoenix. You have, of course, the first Phoenix. You have New Hampshire, like I talked about, and the 2 Richmond races. That's 4 races to look at. And in these 4 races, only Martin Truex Jr. has won, and he won twice. Once at Phoenix, once at Richmond. Now, top 5s. The Gibbs guys both have 3 top 5s in these 4 races. Chase Elliott has 2. Larson, none. So that's a clear disadvantage right there for Larson. Let's look at top 10s. Hamlin has been the only one to finish in the top 10 in all 4 of these races. Larson and Truex, 3. Elliott, 2. So right now, I think that you could scale a very little bit to the Gibbs side when it comes to predictions, but the average finish is really where it comes into play. When the Hendrick guys aren't finishing up front, they're pretty mediocre. They both have 9th place averages for the most part at these tracks, whereas the Gibbs guys are around 4th and 5th apiece. The laps led counter is where it really starts to get spread out. Hamlin has led 438 laps at these 4 races. Truex has led 251. Chase Elliott's led 111. Here's the real kicker though. Kyle Larson at the 1 Phoenix race, 2 Richmond races, and 1 New Hampshire race has led 9 laps. Larson has been off at comparable races to this. Number 1 is a bit of rivalries. Elliott has had scuffles with Kevin Harvick, and this week Denny Hamlin kind of went at him. Hamlin also has went back and forth with Chase Briscoe, and this past week has not been the greatest to Alex Bowman. Whereas Larson and Truex, for the most part, have kept their noses clean, especially in the last half of the season. Yeah, they might complain on the radio, but people get over that. Now here's a few other things to note. Kyle Larson, while at a disadvantage, has had 3 weeks to prepare with Cliff Daniels, who I think is one of the most well-rounded crew chiefs in NASCAR. So, I think that might be able to make up for the disadvantage that Larson has had, both at Phoenix somewhat and with the 750 horsepower package. Denny Hamlin also kind of seems to be at a tipping point. It feels like he's been one of the most consistent guys. He's been up front every week, but right now it feels like he's at the verge of just complete collapse. And if history says anything, Denny Hamlin tends to collapse pretty easily. And then something else for Kyle Larson. Jimmie Johnson finished 5th in the same car with the same team last year at Phoenix. And let's be honest, Johnson was pretty much cooked. So that probably bodes pretty well for Kyle Larson. Now, when you look at all 4 of these guys when it comes to their NASCAR careers, the least experienced in this position is Kyle Larson. But let's be honest, he is a generational talent, and outside of this, he's been competing in very high-stakes races, so I think, again, that makes up for it. Chase Elliott is the defending champion. He's been in this position now. He knows what he has to do. Denny Hamlin has been in this position over and over again. While he's never won a championship, he knows every way to lose it, so you could say that's experience to what not to do. And then Martin Truex Jr. has been in this position probably more than any of the other 3. He's won once at Homestead, but he's come up short before. I think, though, that experience-wise, these guys are about dead even. And that's it. For me, who's my pick, I'm going to lean towards maybe Martin Truex Jr., but it could change throughout the week, let's be honest. Now, I want to hear from you. Who do you think wins the championship this Sunday at Phoenix? Let me know down in the comments below. While you're at it, leave a like in this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel for more great NASCAR content. Also, 2 things. 1, to my channel members, thank you so much for your support. And to everybody out there, thank you for bearing with me and my failing voice. I hope it gets better throughout the week. I think it will. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. And until next time, have a good one.